This is a Peugeot 205. It's my 205. And straight away, we'll address the GTI-shaped elephant in the room. This is a car the history books won't remember as well as its sportier counterpart. The GTI was the adored cooler cousin who won all the school races and was the first of his friends to lose his virginity. So where does that leave the lower spec editions? The GLs, the XEs, the Juniors and the Styles. Some are quick to denounce them as a bit boring, a bit routine and a bit common. But I'm here to tell you the importance of pedigree. The history of this car and all the pies Peugeot had its 205 fingers in didn't amount to nothing. In fact, the lower spec cars benefited from a whole slew of inter-production developments that by the time of the Phase 2 editions really put these cars ahead of the competition. The late 70s were the dawn of a new era for the European car market. Manufacturers were beginning to turn their attention to the emerging small car segment, and by 1980 you were spoilt for choice with the Renault 5, Ford Fiesta and of course the Volkswagen Golf, to name a few. However, there was one name missing from the shining list of popular small car brands: Peugeot. At the beginning of the 80s, Peugeot, who were famed for large mid-segment reliable cars, could only offer this, the 104. A project of the recently created Peugeot Citroën Group, the 104 was already showing its age. Its initial popularity was quickly slumping, and Peugeot was suffering the consequences. Internally, Peugeot had financial problems. The oil crisis of the 70s was taking its toll across the board, with many manufacturers seeking to produce a new, less thirsty car for the people. With Britain sticking doggedly to the four-door saloon platform, those on the continent started to go the other way. It was starting to become evident that if Peugeot wanted a piece of the second-generation small car market, they needed to act fast. This was what they came up with. Codenamed the M24, there were strong hints of the 205 already showing. Contrary to popular belief, it was Peugeot's in-house designers that won the competition for the car's exterior design, rather than their Italian counterparts at Pininfarina. Peugeot's bosses knew that they needed something radically different to their previous offerings if they were to attract new customers, and the Italian design was rejected on the grounds of being too traditional and conventional. Pinin did later go on to shape the convertible CJ and CTI models, but that was as close as the Italian design house got to the Peugeot. Production of the first 300 or so cars began in late 1982, with the Peugeot 205 finally unveiled to the UK press in October 83. In the coming years, Peugeot used the 205 platform to put out a whole manner of exciting new adaptations of the original design, most notably the back-to-back world champion, the Group B T16 rally car. So with that covered, let's focus in on this car in particular. It's a style, well, underneath it's a GL, with a few extra bits bolted on. By 1993, Peugeot were beginning to mix and match trims, and this car was a prime example of this. Although badged in the right stickers and stripes, we have the interior from a Trio, the optional 1.6 GTI alloys, chrome bumper inserts, a rear wash wipe, cigarette lighter, and an analogue clock. Apart from that, this car was largely barren. It's not all doom and gloom, however, as what the car did come with was a fantastic chassis, sharp and accurate steering, and a sprightly 1.1 litre engine, producing 60 horsepower. Far from the fastest, that number just doesn't matter. At 790 kilograms, the 205 Style is approximately a third lighter than its modern 208 counterpart, making it feel incredibly nippy around town and on the B roads. Pair that with the car's low ride height and fantastic visibility, on the right road, 30 feels like 50, and 60 on twisty country lanes is a whole other ballgame. After 27 years, there are some squeaks and clunks from the aging plastics and could do with replacing bushes, but it's solid. I don't feel bad about chucking it about, as Peugeot produced this car with a supreme level of reliability compared to its competition. Its gear changes are silky smooth and it doesn't hesitate when you touch the throttle. To me, it's a fantastic example of what small cars should be. To the world of cars, it's the foundation for one of the greatest hot hatches of all time. And we really shouldn't forget that.